Daktari.
Like that. This one is for one phone, this one is for another, so I just recommend two.
Microphone check. The break and finish. Testing sound, testing ish, testing Dog City, testing USD 2K, testing Jamlock, testing Kenya, testing a neutral venue, testing break and finish.
So you can cash out with 600. Cash out 600. This one.
Testing sound.
We're going to Dari. We're going to Dari after here. Yeah. I'm not going back to Kampala. Actually, yeah. Go to Dari. Are you going to Tanzania? I've been there before. You came. When I was born, we got there. The day there was a match for South Sudan, there were many fans out there. You know, most of South Sudanese are living in Kampala because from Kampala back to Juba is here. So that's where they live. Many of them. Yeah. And the buses from Kampala to Juba, there are many everywhere. Many, anytime you can get anytime.
Yeah. All right, welcome aboard once again, and maybe for the final day today. That is a chilly Thursday evening here at Jamlock Restaurant and Sports Bar. We are just at the outskirts of the county of Nairobi, in the town called Machakos. The venue, once again, that is called Jamlock. The road that leads from Nairobi to Mombasa, it is actually called Mombasa Road, just after passing by Nairobi Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is Robbie's Fuel Station, where you can catch this action live and exclusively free. If you are in and around Machakos, perhaps in and around Nairobi, it's just about a 20-minute drive, but it can be more considering that there is traffic jam. But if you are far away, please continue catching the action where it is now on Break and Finish Live Facebook, as well as Peter Chove Live YouTube. It is the biggest match of the day between Ishmael MTHETHWA of South Africa, donning creamy white with those light blue jeans shorts. They are taking on Rashid Wagaba from Uganda, donning red and black, coming from Kampala. They are racing upon agreement to 21 for the consequence of $1,000 to win or lose for not being the first player to 21. Now the diehard, as Ishmael is called, has got a little bit of history with Ugandan players. I have to say, and I have to fear for him, it is not a very good history. I have streamed 2 matches involving him and Ugandan players. Actually, this is the 4th. I've streamed 3. Yes, 3 matches involving him in 1, 2, 3 countries. This one I streamed was when he took on Ibrahim Kayanja. Then it was the race to 16 at Timbuktu in Eldoret in Kenya. I think it was in August last year, and the match was won by Ish by 16 frames to 11. Yes, I beg to be corrected. Then the That one wasn't actually the last. The very last was him taking on Ian Kazibwe. I streamed that match right on the platform that you are watching. Such that once I go to the channel, once again, as I welcome now the viewers of the Mchana Pool Club YouTube channel, now also sharing this exact commentary. The last time that I streamed the match between Ishmael and any Ugandan player was him taking on Ian Kazibe. Then it was a race to 15 for $1,000 US. It was organized at Q Masters in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania on the eve of the grand finale of the Q Masters International Carnival that was won by the Zambian Royd Kabwe, and in the team event by the Ugandan team Roxbury. These two did race to 15 for $1,000 US. The match was won by the Ugandan Ian by 15 frames to 10. What I do remember is that Ishmael was so furious that upon victory, Ian did not accept to have a rematch that very night, and Ishmael wanted a rematch, perhaps for the same money or perhaps to double the stake, which Ian said his manager had told him not to rematch and decided to respect. But the very first time that I streamed the match involving Ishmael and then a Ugandan player was him taking on Dog City. It is, I think, the biggest humiliation I have ever seen of a South African by a Ugandan player, racing to 13 for $1,000 at the venue that is Flintstones in Lusaka in Zambia. I also streamed it right on the page where you're watching. It ended 13 frames to 2. Once again, it ended 13-2, Dog City beating Ishmael. And Ishmael said Diehard is not playing well. He doesn't say Ishmael, he says Diehard is not playing well. And then he said he will once again get a chance to face Dog City. Now the chance has come. I remember the following day, I had a discussion when we were moving from the accommodation place to the venue for the tournament. That was Billiards Cafe Classic 2023. It is coming now to 3 years ago when Dog City humiliated Ishmael at Flintstones 13-2. I told Ishmael, that is not the diehard I know. How comes you played this rubbish? That's how I called him, not in a respectful way, because he's my friend. Why are you playing rubbish? I know that you're a very good player. Then he said, I promise that I will come to Uganda. He told me that he'll want to face Kasozi, Dog City, Ibra Kayanja, Ian, Computer, and all those other players. Then he also told me that he will fish them, he will beat them convincingly, and after beating them, he will use all the money he will have used beating them to stake it on two people, that is Ibra and Caesar. Of course, he has not been to Uganda since then, but yes, there is a chance because he meets against a Ugandan player, but not in Uganda. He's some kind of a home player. Ishmael has been resident in Kenya for the better part of the whole of last year. He even tries speaking some Swahili, although he's in Ndebele, born in Zimbabwe. Ishmael is actually naturalized South African. The guy is a Zim. But of course, he holds a South African passport. He was in Zimbabwe for only a few years while growing up. Then he moved on to South Africa. He's now South African, married to a South African lady, and also having South African kids. So the Zims, you can be happy about that history between yourself and the guy. But yes, he is now proudly representing South Africa. He was the African champion from the year that was 2014. Then a budding and very promising, yet already a very good player, won the AAPA championships in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, first tournament that he won in East Africa, just about 15 hours drive from where we are. He did beat international compatriot and then 18-year-old Aiden Joseph in the final. That is the first international competition that I ever watched. Since then, he took on the title of the best player in South Africa and arguably on the entire African continent. In fact, by the following year, 2015, up to the years that followed, he was playing a lot of money sessions with Aiden Joseph. As for Ishmael, every time that you beat him, he would never let go. He would come back. He doesn't die easily. He has to die hard. Beat him today, he returns tomorrow. He beats you. Even if you beat him 10 more times, he returns the 11th, and then you show him what you got. Now, there was one day humiliations from Aiden Joseph who were becoming a little too much. And then he posted on his Facebook page, that Facebook account that is called Ishmael MTHETHWA, said from today, Die Hard will never play against Aiden Joseph again. The guy is a ghost. It is on that day that Aiden got the nickname The Ghost that he still carries up to present date. He's taking on a much younger player from the country of Uganda. By the time Ishmael became a known player, Dog City was only learning how to play. A kid growing up in the suburb of Natete in central Kampala in Uganda. When he started real learning, he had a manager that was called Masiani. He took him to the team that was Capital Knight to learn more how to play the game. In the year that was 2016, Dog City, then a very young player, but he was moving around the city like a dog that was looking for prey. His manager gave him the nickname the City Dog, only to name it a little bit more fancy, Dog City, a name he carries as his other name up to present date. He now does play for the Ugandan team that is called Upper Volta, and is back in Kenya for maybe the 10th time or so. He was last year, I think last year. He also is fond of making tours in Kenya, playing against Kenya's best players, also being open to giving them headsets and things of the sort. Dog City stepped into Kenyan soil at 2 a.m. this morning when the Bebeto coach crossed over from the Busia border, then reached the city of Nairobi just around 1 a.m. this evening. He had initially said he will play this match tomorrow, but then because the match was already announced, he says the fans need a game. Let us give them a game. Let us have the game today. There is also agreement between the two that most especially should Dog City win, they will be playing again tomorrow. That's what Ishmael wants, and Dog City has accepted duly. And yet, even the other Ugandan who traveled for this, Ibrahim Sejemba, will be playing against Dog City tomorrow. Therefore, the program as of now, tentatively, is at 3 p.m. East African time tomorrow evening. It will be Ishmael MTHETHWA versus Rashid Wagaba for $2,000. And thereafter, immediately after the time that is estimated to be around 7 p.m. East African time tomorrow, Ibrahim Sejemba versus Ishmael MTHETHWA. Presenting to you this action in audio and video on 3 platforms: Facebook, Break and Finish Live, YouTube, Peter Chobe Live, and Mchana Pool Club. My name is Simon Peter Chobe, and I know that you are watching. I am dedicating this live stream to you. Chairman GNM must be watching from Mchana Pub and Grill, about a 20-minute drive away, opposite Prestige Plaza, alongside Ngong Road, further in Nairobi. Ishmael MTHETHWA 1, Rashid Wagaba 3, race to 21, $2,000. Frame number 4. Die Hard refusing to die in the initial stages of the match. When he's with the Kenyans, he knows how to play with their mindsets to fall in love with him. He calls himself Kenyan. Himself, together with the Malawian Stanford Given Ginte, have been living in Kenya for a long time now. Ginte now traveling to meet his manager Big Kells in Nigeria. And when I left Kampala, the first 3, Ishmael winning the next 2. This one is going to be quick, it's going to be fast, it's going to be timely. Most important, it's going to be entertaining. 3-2, the South African is in the lead against the Ugandan, racing to 21, live at Jamlock in Machakos in Kenya. This one is a 5th with Dog City breaking, hitting the pyramid. The top ball, the red it is, and he's getting to make one ball. That ball is yellow. Now, given the position of yellows compared to reds, you would fancy him going for the yellows, only that there is a problem. Yellow, the one that is closest to the left of the screen, seems to be going for the reds. I'm not certain he wants to close the table. Yes, he plays to defense, denies Ishmael good sight of any of the reds to pot in a straight shot. Tempting for him to go for the yellows, but there is a thin white line because it is so close to the black, almost touching the 8 ball. The consequence of $2,000. If Ish loses this, should he lose, he will want to rematch. That is who I know as the diehard. But then, rematching condition as a pre-match talk has been set for tomorrow. Nairobi, in terms of organization, is now one of the capital cities of African pool. Now that Jamlock is yet another powerful venue. So beautiful, so neat, so clean. The tables are so smart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them they are in number, all lined up. That's why it is called a sports bar. But also lots of refreshments, lots of ugali. Ugali is the staple food of Africa. If you're watching from South Africa, that's what you call pap. In my country, we call it posho. That is Uganda. Tanzania, they call it ugali. In Zambia, they call it nshima. Zimbabwe, they call it sadza. In most of those countries besides South Africa and some parts of Uganda, it is the staple food. In West, East, South, Central Africa, here they prepare it hard, not like pap or saza, and they like to enjoy it with nyama choma. And when you speak about food, it means ugali. 3-2, the dog in the city, still leading only just, going for the bank and hitting one yellow in, leaving the cue ball so close to another yellow. As for him, the only option is try and put it to the corner pocket bottom left where there is the block. Maybe the only way is try to cheat the pocket if the table is that friendly, and only if he cues well enough to. Has to be played with too little power, too much precision, which he does. Moves the cue ball towards the right end of the table. Could opt to choose any of the yellows that are now rightwards. Start with either. Cue ball isn't that natural for another. If he decides to put one, it needs some skill. This one goes for the extreme right ball first. Will spin the cue ball perhaps bottomwards. Will want to avoid contact between white and red, which he does, but a little excessive movement of the cue ball compared to his intention. And the option is to cut now the yellow to the bottom side pocket, and then ensure he's not snookered before playing the last yellow, but only if, again, first he pots the yellow. He wants to play it with backspin, bounce it off the right cushion, then move it leftwards and misses the pot. Ishmael jumps off the table as though wants to still prey that has been hunted by another predator. Still 3 frames to 2. He's just a little down, starting a little slower. For the last 10 minutes has been a much better player, despite starting as the much worse player for the first 15. Once again, the live stream of Rashid Wagaba dating Ishmael MTHETHWA is live on Break and Finish Live Facebook, Mshana Pool Club YouTube, as well as Peter Chove Live YouTube, presenting to you the action in video and audio. My name is Simon Peter Chove, all the way from the Republic of Uganda, just doing what I love. And you are in 15 minutes on the road. When you get to the venue, you feel like a monkey that is settling in its bush when the game is being played, and being played this good. There has been a foul, a scratch by Dog City, a chance by Ishmael to win another, a chance by the South African Zim to equalize in the encounter. Ishmael in there. That was 2015. Became the first South African player to make a tour of Uganda. Then a very young man. I remember him playing matches against Computer, against Hazard, against Ibra Sejemba. If I'm not mistaken, against Geoffrey Setumba, the guy that is called Fire, nowadays resident in Lusaka in Zambia. Against Sula Matovu, then one of Uganda's best players of the day. He only lost twice to a very young teenage sensation, Ibra Sejemba. That match, he was only a curtain riser to the main match. Then Hazard was Uganda's top battle player. It was 2015 at the venue that was called Lumas in Kampala. He also played against Amos and lost it. So he lost to Ibra and Hazard and Amos, but then I think cleaned the country well because he won 8 other matches. He then traveled to Nairobi by road for the very first time because then Amos's manager is called Jim Kush wanted to have that money where he was watching. I think it was organized at Crooked Q in Westlands in this beautiful city. And then the match was won. Ishmael was leading bigly at something like 9 frames to 2. Then there was a very contentious frame where the two players argued whether or not it was a foul. Then the match was actually discontinued. And I remember Ishmael promising that he will never play with the Amos again because of his unsportsmanship, he said, and has maintained his word up to present date, 10 years later. But then 1 frame later, he's winning another frame against the Ugandan, and it's a 3rd in a row. Ishmael MTHETHWA 3, Rashid Wagaba 3, race to 21. Still early days yet. Keep me company. We shall have about 2 timeouts. These guys both love to take it on. They love just to keep playing and playing and playing and playing. And believe you me, even the 10 frames where they are expected to be having timeout, I want to believe it will be little time because they are only just getting started. Both of them haven't even warmed up fully, but yet we are being entertained fully. 3-3 between Ish and Dog City, racing to 21. Teba Hodicto, thank you for watching. Dennis Otieno, welcoming back, thank you very much. Mugisha Jose. Mugisha Jose, isn't this the Kenyan Ugandan? Mugisha, the pool player, administrator, umpire, streamer. With the name Mugisha, you will never be Kenyan. You are Ugandan. You need to go back to Kabale, where you hail from. Ayesiga Safiama, thank you for watching. And Golden Kalale, supporting Dog City. Charles Pavins, welcome to the stream. Vincent Seguia and Michael Kalema. Jomba Zira, you are saying the Ugandan is leading. No, none of these shooters is leading because the score is currently tied at 3 frames apiece. 6 Malokwana watching on Break and Finish Live, definitely from South Africa. Welcome to the stream. And Tabiso Ngwange from King Williamstown, I think in South Africa, because you are Tabiso. Puti Donna Ramoka, welcome to the stream. And Mubs Mush, always watching on Facebook, thank you for watching. La People's Choice, welcome to the stream. And Rotonda, you're advising that Ishmael is the one who named Aiden the Ghost after Aiden beating him in his own home ground. Yes, thank you very much. Paco Lesole, you are saying I'm so knowledgeable. Thank you for giving me a lot of honors. I just do what I am doing and doing it with love and passion. Sometimes there are financial gains, but those are only an added advantage. And will Dog City add himself an advantage of a frame here? Seemingly he will. For Ish, it is a mission of revenge. For Dog City, it is a hunting mission in here to play with whom it may concern. There is also the news. I'm hearing that Royd Kabwe is planning to come to Jamrock in Nairobi. It's quite some distance from Dar es Salaam, where he is, to join Ish to take on the Ugandans. And one of the Ugandans is on the verge of regaining the lead. After 7 frames played, it is now Rashid Wagaba 4 and Ishmael MTHETHWA 3. Yet another clearance, yet another apple in the big battle. Race to 21, 4-3. The Ugandan is in the lead. Lindani. I don't know if this is the Lindani, the player from Zim. You're asking about the match between Ish and Ibra. Okay, the program was supposed to be Dog City and Ibra both to take on Ishmael today because Ishmael is ready. He says he's die-hard. Even if I play with one, win or lose, I can take on the other. But Ibra said he feels too... There has been a scratch in the 8th frame of the match. And welcome back, guys, from the day's curtain raising match between Yahaya, the Ugandan youngster who defeated the Kasarani player from Kenya, Dominic Maina. He's called by 11 frames to 8. Every time one of them gets to the table, they normally have one idea in mind: finish off the frame and increase their scores. Home advantage will be fancying Ish, but the table is good enough for me to call neutral. Going for clearance number 4 is the Zim South African Ish, who will be potting perhaps with stop effect on the cue ball. He just does a little top spin. It follows the yellow only a little. And Dog City knows that highly likely than not, it is a frame Ish is winning. He needs to leave some cuts. If he plays top spin, not to overmove it, you can see the cut is simply to have natural movement of the cue ball as close can be to the black. Has to play it with the effect, not to have any contact between white and any of Dog City's reds. All of that he does with the total perfection, and the frame is being won. Dog City's only offense is scratching on the break, and Ishmael's response is winning by reverse dish. South Africa 4, Uganda 4, race to 21. Just after 29 minutes of play, we are already playing frame number 9, whose break has been done by Ish and whose break has been dry. Nominating the reds is the Ugandan Dog City, who I don't know whether intentional or not has decided to wear 2 of Uganda's national colors. Maybe it's patriotism coming into play. As for Ishmael, The blue is one of the colors on the South African flag. There is no red on him. There is no green. The way is still long. The race is still wide. Still tense. Still close. Still so unpredictable. And the stake is too big, both for the sake of the money, most especially for the fans, for the entertainment, but also the patriotism, the representation of not just self, but also country. Dog City representing Uganda, Ishmael representing South Africa, with a little touch of Zimbabwe. For a piece, a miss by Dog City, which he chose to play red off yellow. Of course, it always hampered his ability to pot, but it was understandable because it was always maintaining good cue ball for a pending clearance had he gotten the red in. As for Ishmael, he's looking at the yellow that is at the extreme bottom right of the table, perhaps as the will-be bird of the 6 on table. He may want to manipulate the cue ball for it now. Play the yellow he's looking at with the top spin cue ball to bounce off the top cushion and then move rightwards. Have the cue ball at some position in between the two reds that are close to that yellow. If he doesn't play that shot now, he will need to play it later in the frame. If he's to go for it with his current fist of the table, is a shot. I'm not so certain he has full sight of the yellow. He played the most cautious shot and seems to have gotten it right, because yes, there is sight between white and that will be bad yellow. In between about 3 reds, but misses it and misses it just. For the consequence of taking the lead for either of the players, frame number 9 is underway. And also, and just over 40 minutes of the match having been played, and yet we are having about 1,500 people watching combined on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, Africa. And I'm told that one of them is Chairman GNM. I'm looking forward to saying hi to him when these matches go to Mchana this coming Sunday. Those who know what I'm meaning, Luseke style, those that are watching from home. Good enough, you're not understanding my local lingua, you're only understanding what Dog City is trying to do here. His cue ball manipulation skills can sometimes mean to be so eloquent, and when the pot is on, he can make himself look quite unbeatable. Last time out that he participated in competition is just about the whole of 4 days ago, in the quarterfinals of a comp that I streamed from Kampala at Oryx Gardens. In a race to 5, it was 4-4 between himself and Caesar at one time, and then he just missed one ball, and then Caesar finished the frame and won the match. As for now, it is Ish who missed a ball. It is Dog City trying to capitalize here. Has very thin sight of the black, but I think sight enough for him to make a rail drive of the same black to the corner pocket bottom left. He cuts it so sharp. He almost got lucky, but not lucky enough. There was a collision between yellow and black. As now the mighty Podge comes into the commentary booth.
Thank you so much. I was just saying hi, and I was wondering, Uganda, wow, great talent. The young boy called Yahaya. Big surprise for today.
You have to say ya and ha and ya, but first.
It's a big surprise.
First say Yahaya.
Yahya.
No, pronounce the H hard. Yahya.
All right. Is he Ugandan or you imported him from somewhere? Or maybe China or
Ugandan is still learning the game.
Meanwhile,
He came to improve
meanwhile,
national competition.
Sorry. Meanwhile, Dog City has just pulled one and he has called for maybe a health break. And this is Ishmael Dehad versus Rashid. What a cracker!
Where do you see this match going, coach?
It will be an interesting match. But the way Dog City is shooting and queuing, trust me, wow, he's going to give Dehad a run for his money.
Second time they are facing off. They first faced off 2.5 years ago in Lusaka in Zambia. $1,000 the pot and 15 the rest. No, 13 the rest at Flintstones in Zambia in Lusaka. It ended 13-2. Dog City winning. Since then, Ishmael has been hunting for him.
All right.
Now we have our match.
So Ibra coming late to Nairobi City was a blessing for Dehad.
Just so that we can have this game first. After all, it is very good as well.
But Dog City must be very careful because Dehad never gives up. He's a fighter and he can somebody who can really slow down the game if he's cornered. He can really slow it as much as possible.
Of the two players, in my opinion, he's the one likely to be performing better in the latter stages of the game. For instance, when they have played for 2 hours.
Okay.
He's the one of the two players that becomes better as he plays longer. And that is normally what happens when an experienced player is up against a less experienced player. Yes, Dog City has experience, but not any close to Ishmael. So I'm looking forward to the moment, maybe after 30 frames played, most especially should Dog City be in the lead. And then we have the last frame when Dog City is starting to tire down and Ishmael is now warmed up.
So in other words, you could advise Dog City spiritually to go for it as much as possible in the beginning, to make as much friends as possible.
He stands the best possible chance if he takes a very good lead now.
Okay.
If they are having even scores with, let me say 16-16 or 17-17 in the latter stages for the matches I've watched involving Ishmael in any kind of way, I would favor him for the victory. And as for Dog City, he has lost some long races because they could be Ugandan players play long races, but there are some he lost against Joseph Kasozi, he lost against Ibra Sejemba, he lost also against Hazard about a year ago, when for most of the time he was the better player in the early session of the match. And then later, maybe for him, fatigue comes up, and then the more experienced player can bring his A game.
That's wisdom from you, Chobela. You look, sometimes you sound like a prophet. Have you ever been to...
You're funny. But I want to tell these people that you gave me a microphone for the first time.
Yes, exactly.
Head start from Ishmael, and yet you still lose.
Trust me, these are robots.
Rest to 21, you got plus.
Yes.
And still lost. Can you apologize to Africa for
Not
that?
even apologizing. I'm saying I really tried because no Kenyan want to play Ishmael. Actually, no Kenyan want to play Ishmael. I came out to defend the country. I was just passing by to say hi and to find out if you're doing well, because in Kenya we love you so much. So if you're okay, you're comfortable.
I'm doing well, and thank you for my meal.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit for you.
Thank you. It's called the Mighty Podge. I don't know how he makes it, but the guy is always happy. I don't know how he maintains an all everlasting smile. And has a very beautiful Kenyan hospitality. He's always happy to see visitors. And when he traveled to Uganda sometime last year, we made here that we revenged in quotes as much as Ishmael wants to revenge today, because the last time he faced off with Dog City, he was humiliated in Lusaka. This time, different city, different table, different country, different conditions. No home advantage, just money and pride at stake. Frame number 10 is being played, not expectedly, after the two players have gotten their first time out of the match, and looking likely that Ish is equalizing as we go into the first quarter of the match. Those races to 21, I like to call them, to divide them into 4 quarters, all of 10 frames. This one is a conclusion of frame number 10. The first quarter is seemingly ending in a stalemate for Ishmael. The simple role is to put yellow to the corner pocket, top right, and then spin the cue ball backwards enough not for him to get himself snookered behind the red. He's deciding to use a different angle of sight of the black, but equally effective because he's cutting it sharp to the side pocket bottom, and this will be his equalizer. 20 frames played. Ishmael 5 and Dog City 5. Race to 21. When you break with a foul in matches of this level, or when you scratch, more times than not, there is a very predictable outcome. Your opponent seldom allows you back on table. The free shot has been done by Dog City with the effect of splitting the frame open. He's seemingly wanting to go for the reds, but there is one red in particular that has not been opened into space, the one that is close to black near the side pocket bottom. It's the one he wants to play the cue ball to open into, putting red to the corner pocket bottom right. Cue ball being drawn backwards off the cushion to play it into another red, which he does, and does it relatively well, but only well if he can get a ball to pot with his current visit of the table, with his current shot perhaps. I'm not so certain he can cheat the pocket enough for him to pot the red. There seems to be blockage of the passage of the red by the yellow. The cheat of the pocket is okay, and he's seemingly not just playing well enough, but also has an understanding of the playing table at Jamlock. Here we go. He could want to play the cue ball into the yellow, but has played it even more perfect. Has pinpoint accuracy. Now the shot may have to be prompted to play big top spin as he rolls the red to the corner pocket top right, with the top spin cue ball following the red all the way because he wants to put the last red to the side pocket where there is the yellow. Top spin off the cushion, perfect. The existence of the yellow at that side pocket makes that center pocket even bigger. He can play it with all the confidence he has, but again with the top spin cue ball to bounce off the bottom cushion into a yellow, and seems to have survived the snooker, at least by his body language. And what will determine whether or not he'll be leading is how good the cue ball will be for the black. It cannot be potted to the side pocket where it is closest. He may have to pot it to the corner pocket bottom right. Just have his little slice of the cue ball off the red. It's a relatively big slice. I'm not so certain that's what he intended. I think he has gotten a little lucky here, playing the cue ball with a bigger distance, surviving with the resulting position of the cue ball got almost snookered. Normally these he takes off the table into the pocket and with power, and it's in, and it's a lead. I'm surprised he's getting a round of applause from the fans, because the Kenyan following are an Ishmael following. Nonetheless, the Ugandan leads again. Rashid Wagaba 6, Ishmael MTHETHWA 5. Vipiri, you are watching from Malawi. You're asking when Ginte is having a match. Ginte was flown out of Kenya by Big Kells, his manager, as Dog City voids on the break. So he's now in Lagos I can tell you that I left Hazard having applied for visa to go to Nigeria and follow Ginte all the way. So if you get a poster anywhere on the internet showing a match between Hazard and Ginte, don't get surprised. For Ginte, his first intention is to play against anybody holding a Nigerian passport. And then maybe, who knows, Hazard. And also Hazard is looking for anybody that holds a Nigerian passport, and then after Ginte, but this time in Lagos. And after putting black on the break, Dog City got to break again and potted the opposite of the black, and that is the white. The scratch is all pointing towards the equalizer. Of course, Ishmael will always go for the yellows here. He plays the black into space, a statement of intent that his only intention is finish the frame, put the black with ease, equalize in the tie, and then look for 15 more frames in this match that is still young, perhaps very young. Biggest fan pool you call yourself? You say the Kenyan fans are civilized. Yes, they are, but again, they are just enjoying the game with every reason to be neutral here. None of them is Kenyan, but one of them is resident, though South African, that is Ish. But I also have to say that the non-Kenyan who resides here, that these guys love the most, is Ginte. In fact, they have Christianized him. They have given him a Kenyan name. They call him Stanford Kamau Ginte. And Kamau is a very, very solid Kenyan name. Ginte doesn't have a Kenyan name, but he knows some Kenyan words. By the way, some of the words in Kiswahili are exactly the same in Ndebele, which Ginte speaks fluently. So if he stays here for some time, it will be very easy for him. It will be relatively easy for him to master the Kiswahili language, which is so widely spoken in East Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, parts of Uganda, then Congo, then Sudan. He's on the yellows. Now having to roll one of the yellows, especially one of those three, which are at the bottom end of the table. If you're watching on Mchana Pool Club, it is the right end of the table. If you're watching on Peter Chewe Live, he's going for the opposite yellow instead. How good can the cue ball be? It just looks like suspect game reading for me. That's why you see with the resulting cue ball, he's taking all the time to make his mind up on which is the first shot to play, which gives him the best chance of winning the frame with his current visit of the table. Up to now, his mind is not yet made up. Clearly, he chose to play a wrong ball first, making it a little more difficult. He could have played one of the yellows that are at the right end. It was always going in, the cue ball being played into another great space between them and create an easier passage towards victory. But this is the 2014 African champ that we're talking about. When it goes wrong, he can always recover. For the recovery, he went for a back and potted the black ball instead at the wrong end of the match. As for the commentator, sometime with the role to critique the players for mistakes performed, I think Ish will be as guilty as charged. He chose to play the best looking ball on the of the yellows, and that was what the result was. The Ugandan leads with 2 this time. The only shot he played was to break twice, first potting black on the break, then broke again and potted white, and then without touching the cue ball next, found himself winning the frame. Just in case you're only now joining the stream, you are watching a very well anticipated international money match between South Africa's Ishmael MTHETHWA. He's called the diehard. As for me, I just call him Ish, because the very first time that I saw him in 2014, fellow teammates were calling him Ish. Then I got used to addressing him like that. While most people call him the diehard, when he hears someone calling him Ish, he knows that person really knows him. And wants to do something he has already done in this match, come back to equalize, but he has not led at all. Last time out that he was involved in competition was when he played 2 money matches against the Malawian international, reigning sportsman of the year for Malawi. Stanford given won one match to 21 and lost the other. He has of late not been very active on the competitive scene. He did not participate in the African Championships, not surprisingly. Of course, he couldn't participate in qualifiers when he was staying in Kenya, where he as well works nowadays. He was not part of the Patriarchs pool tournament in Harare last year. Was not part of Billiards Cafe in Lusaka in Zambia, where in the previous edition he reached the semi-finals. He was also not part of the African Ultimate Pool Championships. The last tournament in which he was participant was the Q Masters International Championship in Dar es Salaam. So apart from these many matches, I think Ishmael is one of the guys we are missing, most especially in international competitions. But he's responding. We now get a chance to see what he has been cooking. But in that shot, he has not been cooking well enough. He came so close, I have to say, to winning. He may even be a little happy that he has missed the pot, because he would have gotten himself snookered anyways. Dog City must either make a ball or at least make an effective shot. If he doesn't pot a ball, he must make sure that he doesn't give the cue ball away. He's going for bravery, he's going for a pot. He's not. He's going for safety. How safe enough? Ishmael's next shot will give us the answer. Tempting shot, he wants to come off two cushions, that is top, bottom, and then into the red, and does so wonderfully well. Perfect recovery from the South African. Surely he's winning this frame. Aiming for black, aiming for glory, aiming for gold, aiming for the pot, and gets the pot. Cue ball is safe. Ishmael 6, Dog City 7, race to 21. And the match is really starting to be played at a top level. Of course, it started at a top level. And then maybe after 20 minutes, the speed and intensity lessened a bit. Now we are getting to see more of exactly that. Also, we have seen some of the flaws, but few of them players have been playing pretty much at just around equal level. But we get to see another of the shortcomings of the players' shortcomings, will I say. In one of the previous frames, Ishmael getting to put the cue ball as he proceeded, the 8 ball as he proceeded with the play, losing the frame. Just 2 frames later, Dog City doesn't even come close to perfecting what he wanted to do, and is on the verge of gifting yet another frame away to Ish. The yellow that is close to the side pocket bottom, which is the side pocket on the left, if you're watching on Channel Pool Club, is the one that he will probably be playing next, because it pretty much gives him natural white for the one that is at the corresponding side pocket on the right, perhaps at the top of the screen. Is the shot he's playing. Will need a little bit of right spin on the cue ball, bounces it off the cushion, moves rightwards and sinks it in. The cue ball is even better. The opportunity to equalize in the frame is in order for the South African diehard. Rolling yellow to the side pocket with a little top spin. We'll have to play the one that is just in front of the red first. It's one that gives him better option for white. For the next yellow to the corresponding corner pocket at the right. We'll be playing with the top spin, bounce the cue ball off the right cushion, then move it leftwards. And the rest is a formality. Ishmael MTHETHWA 7, Rashid Wagaba 7.
Chobe, one interesting observation. Can you see Ibra, the way he's really studying the game? He's concentrating, he's checking how he's having a lot of body languages. Don't you think he's there just to check their head?
Depending on the way you may look at it, he seems to be someone who is not prepared to lose at all, because he said no. He was the match was scheduled to play today, but he said I cannot play with $1,000 when I'm feeling a little fatigued.
Okay.
If you have to play, you have to play on my terms, and my terms I'm not playing today. It was so clear. So they decided to have the match tomorrow anyway, and he's sitting right by the table and is very observant when Ishmael is playing, because the two have never played a money match against each other.
One thing I want to give to Sijemba is really a killer. He never not given up. It seems like his game has gone up, and I think he's really been practicing and training because some time back his game was really low, but now I can assure you, I can't believe this
For
guy.
this year alone, the first 3 months, he has been the hottest Ugandan.
Okay.
Yeah. He has played, I think, 8 comps and has won half of them. 3 won by Caesar and 1 by Ian. Those are the 8 comps that have been played in there so far. So he's red hot, and in the others, he's also finding himself in the money, in the prize bracket, most of them.
And interestingly indeed, both these two guys, Ibra and Dahad, Ishmael, they have both experience. Ibra has played for so many years. Dahad has played for so many years. So tomorrow's match will be a crack and a half.
They played a money match in Kampala in 2015. Okay. By then Ibra was, I think was 15.
Oh, what 15, eh?
If not 14. He was a very young budding player, but visibly very talented. So
had you started streaming by then?
No, there was no streaming. I don't even Facebook had not yet created an opportunity for live streaming. You could only post or something, which is all I did.
But look at this for the finish. Look at this. Wow. That is mind-boggling from Ishmael.
That is what Ishmael is about, and that is what all the top South African players are about. They are just clearances. They are just about finishes. But for Ishmael, he's about not letting go, just dying hard.
No, he's playing like a robot this time round. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
And it's the very first time in the match that he's taking the lead, Mighty Poch. I can now understand why even with plus 16 you did not survive.
Now I keep telling you people. No problem. Right. Thank you, Chope Life. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. As we anticipated, it's Dog City from Uganda against Ishmael after the Dahad from South Africa. So far, they've given good account of themselves. They've cleared when it matters. They've slowed it when it matters. But ultimately, from the committee decks, we say, may the best win. Oh, quite unfortunate there from Dog City. Very unfortunate indeed there, but it's looking finishable by the level and standard of Ishmael. I think he'll go for the yellows. He'll go for the yellows. Looking palatable indeed for the Dahad. Previously, he had said he's not going to play so many races, so many matches. But the other day, he said he wants to be back to the table. And he's looking very formidable indeed. I think Dog City is up against a very formidable opponent. Kicking very well. Taking his time. Fantastic. Looking so good for him so far. Nicely done. Nicely done. A little, either I think he should do a drawback. A little drawback. A little drawback, or is it going? I think he will go for a slight drawback. Slight, very slight. He has to be careful. Oh, he's going for the other ball. This one will be for safety, but that one is for the finish. He needs to do it. Yes. A slight drawback with a spin. Slight drawback. Slight. That's it. That's it. It's building up a lot of supporters from here. Oh! How about that first shot, ladies and gentlemen? How about that first shot, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, classic. This is world class. World class. Ladies and gentlemen, tuned in. This is a race to 21, $2,000 pitting the Ugandan young boy, Dog City, against a very, very highly experienced South African, Ishmael. Sometimes they call him Dahad. And this is building to what we expected to be a crack and a half. Dog City is still a very formidable player, very good indeed. Still a long way to go. Breaks. Oh, it is a dry break. But an interesting dry break because the only ball Dog City will go for is the yellow balls, and the rest of the yellow balls are not looking very interesting. Oh no. This one isn't what Dog City anticipated in this after the dry break. But trust me, Dog City is the type of player can come out of it. So many problem yellow balls, but let's see. So far, so good for him. Apparently, there are 2 yellow problem balls. I wonder how he's going to do it, but let's see. Just to let you know, we're at Jamlock Sports along Mombasa Road. It's actually not even in Nairobi City. This is we are actually in Machakos County, bordering Nairobi's county. It's one of those places you probably will drive along the Nairobi Expressway, because along the normal road sometimes there's a lot of traffic, so people normally prefer the expressway. Oh, almost. How unlucky. That was unlucky from Dog City. That was unlucky indeed. And is looking, the odds in this frame certainly are tilted against Dog City. But let's see. Ishmael is up his seat, just checking whether it's a touch ball or how. You could probably, but let's see. I think he's complaining. I think Dog City is complaining somewhere. Is a complaint. I wonder what the complaint is all about. Maybe one of the fans could have made some comment, but I think they shouldn't concentrate on the fans. You just need to concentrate on the game. Yes, I think one of the Kenyan players has gone to the fan and told him, please, we need peace. Let the players play. So it's game on. Dog City on the yellows. How about that? Even Ishmael has appreciated that shot. This is a crack indeed, ladies and gentlemen. That is world class. Even Chris Milling will be excited with that shot. Even Efren Reyes, the legend, will be happy with that shot. That is a shot and a half from Dog City. Oh no. He has overplayed it a little bit, but why? Why was he doing that? Okay, needed the drawback, but he didn't need to have that power on the draw. So, wow, game on. Let's see. Ishmael on the red balls. Let's see how he does it. Oh. This one, Dog City might run away with. He's trailing by 2. Ishmael 9, Rashid 7. So apparently Dog City needs this frame more than Ishmael. So far so good. He's overdone it a little bit, but so far so good. I don't see any problem. This one Dog City should be able to do. Dog City is a very formidable player. He should be able to do this one. Oh, I think he needs to start having smooth strokes. Dog City. He needs to have that one. With this level, he should have sunk it. Ishmael on the table. He's playing the red balls. One shot at a time should be his philosophy. One shot at a time. Certainly, I think he'll go for a snooker. Oh, he's go for a snooker. I know his play. So, he might go for, I think he'll go for a snooker. This one, he'll go for a snooker. Just to frustrate Dog City a little bit. He'll go for the snooker. There's a big chance to go for snooker. He's having an afterthought. Or is he going for the game? He's go for the snooker. Certainly go for the snooker. He's a very good defensive player as well as offensive. Yes. Oh, has he got it? Can he see it? Let me see. By the body language, seems there's something wrong. Oh, Dog City, the body language tells. From this angle, you cannot tell, but I think he can see it. Oh! He needed this frame, Dog City. He didn't need this frame. He need this frame, Dog City. He need this frame, Dog City. He's looking. He might go for another snooker. I think he'll go for a snooker. He'll play 1 or 2 shots, then he goes for a snooker. Yes, now that's a snooker. He's slowing down Dog City. That is a snooker anytime. Yes, that's a snooker. He was just trying to see how best to do it. Dog City must get this one. If he doesn't get it, he'll be in trouble in this frame. He'll be in trouble certainly in this frame. He has to get it. Fantastic. Good one. Is he thinking about a snooker? No, I think he's going for the game. He's going for the game. Oh! Wow! What a spin. He was trying to dethrone the cue ball. Sorry, the black ball. But it has not gone his way. Not one of the easy shots for Dog City, but let's see. Oh no, he has missed it. He has missed it. The black ball exposed, so whoever finishes first probably will be the winner. Still okay, but how about that first shot? Remember, as we said earlier, Ishmael has got a highly defensive mindset in the game. He plays some of the most. Oh, how about that first shot, ladies and gentlemen? How about that first shot? That is the recovery. Sometimes offending the play. The reward is there now. You can see. The dog in the city. That is the dog. Who let the dogs out? Fans are really enjoying. The environment is ecstatic. People are happy indeed here. And from the commentary desk, we just say, may the best win. It has not rained for the last 1 or 2 days. It has been very quiet weather. And I think this is the right weather for this game. The atmospheric environment is perfect for this blockbuster. Dog City, Uganda, against Ishmael from Uganda. Dog City in the break. Another dry break. Why? Seems to be some problem on the brakes. I don't know whether it's the cushion or what. But Ishmael, advantage Ishmael. He picks the red balls. But these are very good quality balls we're having today. This brand is one of the best balls you can ever get in the world. And also the tables, these are Q Evolution tables. These are United Q Evolution tables. Championship quality. Under the franchise of Fahad, King Fahad and Collins Tway. They've actually been the big suppliers of this brand of tables, Q Evolution, this championship quality. Ishmael taking one shot at a time, apparently meaning business on this one. I think is going for the finish. Oh, he has to do a drawback, yes, and then probably wonder how he's going to dislodge this one. Is he going for the? I wonder the type of spin he'll use this one. Yeah, he's taking it so slowly. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. In the center. We shall bring your comments. I'm trying to look for Chobe Live. We've just gone with our laptop where the comments are. It's very important to check your comments. I think Chobe Live has gone for his dinner. If he comes back, we'll have to go through the comments. Oh! How about that for the response? How about that for the response? And across there, I can see Ibra Sijemba. His body language is looking very interesting because this is the player is playing tomorrow for the big money match. And what is feeling now is rethinking strategy because those shots are massive, are very massive indeed. Ibra is just across over there next to the scoreboard and is really concerned apparently how his opponent is shooting. So let's wait and see. Tomorrow will be a crack and a half. Ibra currently one of Uganda's top form against a very experienced South African, Ishmael. That is tomorrow. But for now, it is Rashid from Uganda against the same Ishmael from South Africa. Very comfortable. Oh, even better. Very good queuing. Remember, these two nations, South Africa and Uganda, they have very big rivalry in World Pool. Most notable is the Caesar against the top South Africans. Ganda, Aka Jeremiah, the Green Machine, and also the Ghost. It's quite a big beef, not beef really, a rivalry, sports rivalry between these two nations, Uganda and South Africa. Remember that the top, arguably they're the top in African pool. Talent and a lot of depth in the game. South Africa and Uganda produce so many players. I'm not forgetting also we have also top other Kenyan, other nations. We have Morocco, very formidable players. We also have a very good. Zimbabwe is a very good indeed. Tanzanians are equally very good. Even Kenyans are also very, very good indeed. So, but these two nations, Uganda and South Africa, they're at another level. They're at another level. Both the junior and the senior levels, as well as the ladies, they're fantastic players. Back to this. Ishmael has taken the red balls, and it's looking finishable indeed. To me, it's certainly looking a finish for Ishmael. He just has to play one shot at a time. One shot, very great. One shot at a time, not overthinking. And so far, he's doing very well. One shot at a time. That is the protocol. One shot at a time. Exactly. Wow. This guy means business. This guy needs business. It means business. Remember, it's a left-handed player, while Dog City is a right-handed player. How about that first shot, ladies and gentlemen? Just a simple drawback, triple drawback. Not the best, but I think he'll go for it. These tables are world class. If you aim, they'll go in. Yes, these tables are world class. If you aim, they go in. These are international class tables. Wow, I think Dog City has asked for a health break. He needs a break. He needs the timeout more than anybody else. And Ishmael apparently is not going for the break. No wonder he's called there hard. He's not even taking a break. He just want to even practice. He want to hit and hit and hit and practice and continue with the trajectory. So, wow. I find it interesting. Most players will go for break, health break, or just relax or something, just take fresh air. But Ishmael has decided just continue. That is a great determination. That is a great determination. And I think we shall also have a short break as I look for my young brother, Chubby Life, to bring the laptop here so that you go through the comments and you see the reaction of the fans, because without the fans, there's no reason for us to be here. So in a short time, we'll have a short break, and certainly we shall be back with the laptop to check through the comments. Thank you so much. Just keep it here. This is a crack and a half. This is Mighty Podge sitting in for the legendary Chubby Life.
Good evening, dear viewers, once again, and we are back. Just coming to halfway through the match. We are at the Jamlock Sports Club. All right, just around the outskirts of Nairobi, but yes, the venue is right at the start of Machakos County. All right, along Nairobi Mombasa Road by Nairobi's fuel station is a beautiful venue, quite beautiful. Jamlock with 7 standard blackboard tables, which will be a host for today's and tomorrow's money matches. It is Ibrahim Sejemba and Rashid Wagaba, the Ugandans, while the South African is Ishmael MTHETHWA, looking forward to take them on, but also the pending arrival of a certain Mr. Royd Kabwe from Dar es Salaam to be a part of the action, in particular to join fellow SADC comrade Ishmael to take on the Ugandan. There's also a Ugandan young man called Yahaya. He wants to have action against any Kenyan player that is willing to give him a game so far. He has taken on Dominic Minor today and has defeated him in a race to 11 by 11 frames to 8, which is the current score of this ongoing match. This one still has about 20 or 21 frames to be played if it is to go all the way to a decider. After Ishmael losing the first 3 frames, he has since then won 11 and has lost 5. Now clearly thinking better and queuing better, but most importantly breaking better in most of his frames, and so close Dog City was to winning a 9th, but even closer to Ishmael winning a 12th. Like I always say, the difference between victory and defeat for top players can mean to be very meager, as Dog City was on the verge of winning frame number 20, and yet Ishmael is on the verge of winning in the next minute the same exact frame, wanting to put black now to the side pocket top, bounce the cue ball off 2 or 3 cushions, and cue ball pretty much natural for the black. Of course, the easiest black he will play, and even if in some kind of way it doesn't, pot cue ball isn't natural for Dog City to pot the remaining yellow, but that won't matter because Ish has potted it with ease anyway. 12 frames to 8, the South African is in the lead in this race to 21. By the way, of the 2 players, while it is Dog City, you probably watch them all. They cannot be mentioned in the same sentence in terms of achievement and experiment. With Ish probably in his mid-30s at least, and I have to say at least, And then Dog City, only getting into his mid-20s. But yes, in terms of quality, they can be mentioned in the same sentence. Ish way more achieved, most especially the numerous trophies that he has won in South Africa, most especially in black ball. Former South African national champion, he has also played 9 ball. He's also one of the few South African players that have played at the World Championships in Europe. As for Dog City, he has not been reaching the latter stages of most competitions in which he has been a participant. I think I only have a quarter final to write home about at the Billiards Cafe International Classic in 2025. I remember him beating one of Zambia's favorites in the round of last 16, that is Victor Sinyenza, by 9 frames to 8 in a decider at Billiards Cafe in Lusaka. In other tournaments, he has been one of those relatively big names, but has not been really reaching the latter stages. Back home in Uganda, he was the losing finalist of the National Open Championship, the car comp. Now he's ranked 4th, which is the highest position he has ever attained in his career, and that is only locally. He was invited to participate in the Patriarchs Pool Tournament in Harare late last year, but did not have enough time to have enough funds for travel to Harare. But there is no doubt in his abilities. It's just that in the match so far, he's being outplayed, most especially after the first 1 hour of play, when it has been pretty much an Ishmael total performance. He has been granted another chance-ish. Call it half a chance. The 3 reds at the left end of the table, which is the bottom end if you're watching on Channel Pool Club, I want to suspect are the balls that he will be playing next. And Malvan Tafara, most likely watching in Harare, thinks that Rashid will win. Malvan, you are too brave. Sammy, you said Dog City is dizzy now because he's lost a little bit of his pattern, that's no doubt. Sammy Moa seem to be supporting Ish on YouTube. Chanley Banda, welcome to the stream. While on Facebook, Ivan Oketa, you want Dog City to give a head start, but Ivan, I didn't give you a head start last time I beat you. KFC Kentucky, thank you for watching. And you said that Victor is the one who made Ishmael to relocate to Zimbabwe after bankrupting him 3,000 years ago. Gawe, not 3,000. When Ish comes to Zimbabwe, he's at home. Watching live from Edinburgh. Thank you for watching. Mokai Wellington Kudzange on Break and Finish Live Facebook. While Maseka you're funny. And from a Dog City perspective, he wants to do all that he can to regain his pattern, to win a frame, but most importantly, to regain the confidence. You need, first of all, to have belief and self-confidence in yourself. You have to win the frame in the mind before you can win it in the body. You need to have the knowing that whatever you're trying to do on the table, you can do, and do it with ease. You need to believe. Now he has to believe in this shot on target with he may have gotten himself snookered yet again. Maybe it is the same exact thing that hit him in the previous frame that could be hitting him in the very next. He's spoken to his opponent like he's snookered. They seem to be in agreement, wanting to play mass shot, curve the cue ball round red to find yellow, also avoid black. That is close to yellow. It looks on, but not in. But at least the Dog in the City doesn't foul and has gotten a very necessary round of applause from the Kenyan crowd. 20 frames played with Ish on the score of 12 and Dog City on the score of 8. the journey is quite long, most especially for Dog City, who now needs to win 13 frames, while Ishmael needs 9 out of the remaining 20. $1,000, the consequence of defeat. And there has been a promise of rematch tomorrow at 3 p.m. As for me, I hope to be confirming that right after these guys continue play, with them submitting in the stake, which they will be doing partially to myself, at least half. And thereafter, you will be seeing a poster of a match, or at least a post for the two. The one between Ish and Ibra shall be played at 7 p.m. tomorrow, but pending a rematch between the two at 3 p.m. same exact day. Dog City has sight of the last yellow on the table. How good he will maintain cue ball for the black will determine whether he will be losing or winning now. May want to do something a little bit bizarre. Move the cue ball after putting yellow around black, try and put black to the same corner pocket, but there is a red that is behind the black, which will happen the moment of the cue ball, if not get him snookered. Maybe he plays off the cushion into yellow direct and into black, again snookered, and still snookered at least partially. Maybe more realistic shooting would see him playing off the cushion. He'll be playing now with a cue ball instead of the cushion, hopefully to find the black. If he doesn't, he loses the frame. He finds black, but puts the cue ball. Nonetheless, fouls. And nonetheless, a bigger chance for Ish to win yet another frame. These ones he has always been taking away, making himself the more solid competitor. Of course, way more achieved. Both players very well traveled. Ish all around the continent for Dog City. Has been in South Africa, has been for the better part of 2 years in Zambia playing semi-professional pool with Spice Pool Club in the Zambian League. Has been to Zimbabwe for competition, has been to Tanzania, has traveled to participate in Ultimate Pool Championships in Morocco in the year that was 2024. He is also one of the Ugandan players ever to represent twice in the World Heibo Championships as far as China. He has been named captain of the Uganda national pool team, Dog City, for the Ultimate Pool Championships last year. After the tournament, he said, "I prefer playing. I don't want that leadership role," and threw it back to the Pool Association of Uganda, a role that is now vacant. Was second runner-up at the Uganda Nationals, taking on the former South African champion, but most especially the 2014 African champion Ishmael MTHETHWA. Going for another frame, going for the Reds, going for a 5-frame cushion for any of the players for the very first time in the match. With each ball he puts, he comes closer. And yet, given the position of the Reds, as long as he sinks the ball in, white ball is pretty much natural for yet another. How good he will manipulate the two Reds that are close to the black will perhaps determine whether or not he's winning the frame in his current visit of the table, and is doing well enough. White is natural for the two Reds now. As long as he puts one, the cue ball bounces off the cushion naturally. And as long as he plays a little right spin on the cue ball, it moves rightwards as it moves leftwards, which will be natural white for the position of the next red close to the one that he's playing right now. Top spin with the right direction, not exactly right. His intention, and rightly so now, is to play the red that is parked near the corner pocket last, because it guarantees him better cue ball for the black. This one he simply needs to play on target, maybe with a little bit of top spin, cue ball following the red just a little bit. And the two balls next, he will as well play them by simple rolls. Maintain proximity between white and black, and the rest is a formality. 21 frames with the player that started slower, now much faster, much quicker, much accurate, winning much better. Ishmael and South Africa 13, Rashid and Uganda 8, and the rest to 21. Kalema Michael, what happened to Dog City, you ask? Nothing is happening, it's just that Ishmael is playing better. I've always advised in a long race to 21, you do think he's some kind of favorite, and also the fact that he has revenge on his mind. Dog City beat him by 13 frames to 2. He did promise me the following day when returning to the venue to play the tournament, that was Billiards Cafe 2023, that he will have revenge on Dog City. Then he told me that it will be in Uganda if it meant him coming to Dog City's home. But better still that they have found a neutral venue that is in between their first meeting point. Mugabe Peterson, you said that you want me to tell Ishmael to be confident. Okay, I will. Charles Pavins is reminding us to like the video. Please do, guys, whether you're watching on Break and Fish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. For the last few moments, I've been watching the YouTube stream and I'm seeing more than 800 watching with just over 100 likes. So be the next person liking the video, which has Ishmael leading by 13 frames to 5. He has his opponent being squeezed at the left corner. He has Dog City exactly where he needs him, leading, and Ishmael, of course, even in terms of facial expression, wearing a more serious face, also a more confident face, which is being exhibited right on the green bed. Jamlock Restaurant and Sports Club, our venue. An international money match with the consequence of $2,000 in pot for the losing player. The event with 8 frames to 13, Dog City down the current score. Most of the time, what exactly has happened is what has been happening anyway, especially for the last 30 to 40 minutes, coming close to winning frames, but something slight just happening, and him, Dog City, losing his cue ball. The same exact thing has happened. Maybe karma is coming back at the dog in the city. If he makes a ball like he has, you will call that a recovery. But of course, he cannot afford to give anything away anymore. He must make a ball again, have a sharp cut on the red to the corner pocket bottom right, bounce the cue ball off 2 or 3 cushions towards the left end of the table, off 2 cushions into the black, but doesn't pot. What he potted most, what he needed most especially, was to make a ball. Ishmael has a tricky looking yellows frame, but his Ishmael came so close to playing snooker. but not close enough. What I don't realize is how the two shots are coming about. Maybe I was not so observant. I may have to play the video just a little backwards. Excuse me. Excuse me. Every time you shake the table, you shake the video. Even him, the other guy. Yeah. When you shake the table, you shake the video. When you shake, sometimes you shake with your leg while you're not knowing. Yes. You're like doing like this, you don't know. 13-8. Dog City wondering what has really happened to him in the last 40 minutes after playing so well in the first hour of the game. Ever since he led by 8 frames to 6, if not to 7, he has lost all of the following frames. He's supposed to be too good to lose 7 frames in a row, and yet he's on the verge of winning of losing an 8th. Now, if a free shot to be played well was anything to be written home about, Ishmael has just done that. Move the cue ball just in between the 2 bad yellows, and yet in the same shot opening up 2 other yellows and then the black. That is the best free shot I have watched in this match. Also one of the best free shots I could ever have imagined seeing. One shot where the player didn't pot, and it shows all of the experience, all of the might, all of the power, all of the quality that got him to win the South African Nationals, I think in 2015, as well as the African Championships in 2014, 12 years ago, and yet still looking strong. Ishmael MTHETHWA is in business. Highly likely, more than his opponent, that he will be making himself richer by the end of this match. Now needing to pot yellow to the corner pocket top right with the backspin cue ball bouncing off the cushion. His aim is to play it to the corner pocket bottom left where there is the black and the yellow, and will want to avoid the contact between yellow and black, and does exactly so, and comes within range, and the rest is a formality. Play the cue ball with backspin, maybe a little into the red, maybe just behind the black. Could get snookered here. The rest was not as formal as I called it. The shot lacked power. The better idea was to aim at playing the cue ball into the red. As long as it hits the red, it's natural for him to pot black. Again, which is for the second time in this match, I think Ishmael's game reading came a little short. Could recover by only playing snooker. Not a perfect snooker it is. The dog in the city has some sight of the yellow, sorry, of the red. That is close to black. If he can put it to the side pocket, the center pocket at the top, which is the center pocket on the right, if you're watching on Mchana Pool Club, then it will be something of a recovery with backspin for him not to give the cue ball away to Ishmael to pot with ease. Stuff like this could be turning points of matches. He has won 3 frames in the match before. He needs to win those and more simply to get himself at level scores. And yet again, he misses the most critical ball of the frame. Simply, he has lost his pattern. Simply, he's starting to think that maybe the match is running away from him. Simply, Ishmael is getting richer in the match, and he's increasing his lead. On the magic figure 14 is Ishmael. On the figure 8 is Dog City. Racing to 21 for $2,000. Ish is having some communication with the umpire. I'm not so certain he's asking for timeout. Maybe wants to confirm who of the two is having the break. And I think the umpire has spoken to him that it is your break, sir. The South African to break frame number 22. There goes the break. Ishmael disappointed with himself that he did not make a ball. He is no doubt the stronger player at the latter stages of matches. His first intention was to take on both Dog City and Ibra on the same day. And I was trying to observe Ibra because for about 30 minutes of this match, he sat at the front seat, just behind the scoreboard. If you are watching on Facebook, perhaps even on Twitter Live YouTube, you can see where the scoreboard is. That is where he was standing, and he was very keen and observant watching Ishmael's pattern, watching him while on table. The time Ishmael left the table, the time Ibra left that seat, as though he was contented that I can take on this guy, whether what was going on in his mind is something to go by. We wait tomorrow. We shall have an answer at 7 p.m. East African time. Ishmael MTHETHWA versus Ibrahim Sejemba racing to 21 for $2,000 live at Jamlock 7 p.m. like I said before, tomorrow. But before then, there is expectation of a rematch of action that is happening now. Same exact stake for the same exact race for what is expected to be a match where Dog City will be trying to seek redemption, because this one is really running away from him. Maybe the fatigue of the 15 hours of the bus ride, maybe a little bit of inexperience in comparison to his opponent. That has been the difference. Otherwise, after playing well for the first hour, the second is seeing the dog in the city, not in his exact shape. Can he win this one? Can he win a frame for the first time in 7? Can he try and do something that he has done before? Can he stop the pending revenge that Ish is about to pay to him? When Dog silenced Ishmael 2.5 years ago in Lusaka. Potting yellow to the side pocket with top spin on the right direction. Maintains cue ball quite well. Can now put any of the two yellows on the table. The one closest to the cue ball, I think, is the one he'll be playing next. The risk is that if he starts with the one on the right first, there is risk of losing the cue ball because it has reds, which are 3 in number, in between the yellows. He could get himself snookered and quite easily. But he takes the risk again. The backspin could be played into the red close to the yellow. He could get himself snookered. Plays top spin off the cushion. He's gotten the cue ball he's perhaps contemplating. A simple roll will put the yellow. A simple roll wouldn't guarantee him cue ball for black. He will play with some kind of power, move the cue ball to some kind of distance from the yellow. He has actually rolled it and has been okay, and has gotten the commentator wrong, and is aiming for black to the corner pocket top left. This will be Dog City winning a frame for the first time in 8 and winning it with 1 visit of the table after Ishmael broke dry, and there he does. After 8 frames of loss, the dog in the city gets a frame of victory. What we are left to see is if this is going to be a confidence booster for the Ugandan to win a series of consecutive frames, for him to get close to Ishmael. Otherwise, it's just my opinion that he is still fighting a losing battle. Ishmael MTHETHWA 14, Rashid Wagaba 9. Streaming to way more than 2,000 people watching combined on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, Africa. By the way, there is action also happening on some Spool TZ channels. A big money match for the same sex between the Ugandan Joseph Kasozi and the Tanzanian Amadeus. Last time I checked out, I was watching that game when Poj was commentating, and I saw the Ugandan lead by 11 frames to 3. Now the score is 13 frames to 5 amidst the chanting environment. And I'm looking at the venue, and I think it is not Kimasas, because Kimasas is the only venue in Tanzania where I've been to, and it doesn't look like a venue I know. So I think it is Amadeus in the lead in Kasozi's tour of Tanzania, which is seeing him so far a very successful tourist, having won home and away against Abdallah Hussein, and now leading against Amadeus, being awaited by the likes of Steven Jackson and Saif Hamad. Both of him, he may need to play home and away, both for $2,000. So you are still being entertained, although Dog City does not play an entertaining shot here. And I'm really thinking out if it comes within my means of affordability after this tour of Ibra and Dog City, because it will end earlier. I am almost at halfway the distance between Uganda, that is Kampala, and Dar es Salaam. Why not jump on another bus? Why not? 9:14-ish up, and has been granted another chance by a player he has successfully played out of confidence, the player that is Dog City. As Ishmael goes for a 15th, as he wants to start to see some light at the end of the tunnel, as he wants to need to win just more 6. Now the number of frames he needs to win is 7 before Dog City can win 11 out of the remaining 17. The shot he has to play will have to be backspin. He wants to put both reds to the same corner pocket, bottom right. And it is done, and it is sealed, and it is him quickly responding to a frame he lost previously, and the rest is a formality. Feeling at home, feeling Kenyan. Ishmael 15 and Dog City 9. Race to 21. From wherever you're watching this action, thank you very much for being part of the history. African players really like to take each other on. They move for these matches, they move for competition, they move for the show of solidarity, they move to show their might, they move to try and win their money, they move to showcase the talent. This time round, it is Ugandans moving into Kenya, taking on a South African that moved all the way from South Africa via Zimbabwe. The tour to be joined by a South Africa, a Zambian, who is currently in Tanzania. You can see the amount of movement. And the stream plus commentary is coming from someone from Kampala. And it is all fun as Dog City looks set to get himself into double figures for the very first time in the match. He started off as the better player, has been outplayed for the better part of 1 hour, but since then he's getting to win 2 frames out of 3 for the first time after 60 minutes. This one again utilizing a failed clearance by Ishmael. 25 frames played. Rashid Wagaba 10, Ishmael MTHETHWA 15, race to 21. Thank you for watching. Always watching. Rachel Mbewe, Isaac, Ishak Scout, Macmillan, Constantine Mhara, Hassan Mandawana, and Tammy Kunene, well as Shoemba. And I as well shout out to some of you like Masinyo GK, Bonaparte Ivan Federa, Dennis Sotieno, Ostian Ntambo, Ring Polarena. You said Dog City needs timeout, and yes, rightly so. Looks like we're having timeout, guys, as requested. Timeout requested by Ishmael after Dog City putting the black on the break. So as we have timing, it will be Dog City's break. The update is Ishmael MTHETHWA after 25 frames of play leads by 15 frames to 10 with a maximum of 16 frames to play as Dog City returns to the table and awaits his opponent. Hopefully, from a Dog City perspective, he's fresher. He has got more self-belief, especially going into the time break with him having won the last frame. Commentary does resume upon the return of Ishmael. It is 15 frames to 10, Ishmael up on Dog City.
Chobelife, just tell me what is going on here.
I'm just waiting to see if Dog City can have the nerves to mount a comeback, most especially after he took a timeout after winning the last frame he played. Otherwise, for the last 1 hour and 20 minutes or so, he has been outplayed bigly by Ishmael. I believe from the last 10 minutes, Ishmael has won 8 and Dog City 2. The difference has been that big.
But me and you know, Dog City can cue very well. He's a very good shooter. Is it really the nerves or the experience?
Ishmael is one of the players with the highest. He has a lot of longevity. He has a lot of endurance. He can maintain a high level for a very long time. So he himself and Dog City are pretty much at just around the same skill set. But when it comes to endurance, enduring of a good pattern of play for a long time, he's always the favorite to win.
All right, that's Chobe for you. Chobe, thank you so much. Back to the table. Ishmael from South Africa has picked the red balls. Oh, it's just very well indeed. And it's looking likely and possible. But one interesting thing, oh, is it a snooker? Is it a snooker? We'll wait and see. At this angle, we may not know, we may not see. But if it's a snooker, it might be more even interesting against him. But it seems not to be a snooker. Yes, it's not a snooker. It's doing it. How about that? Oh no, that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate indeed. But what does he do from here? Dog City has got 1, 2 problem balls, the yellow balls. There's 1, 2 possible problem balls. But Ishmael could still play as safety. Let's see. Yes, that's a safety. What a shot, no. What a shot. Talk about safety, that's a safety and a half. But just as I said earlier, one interesting scenario we're having here, very interesting indeed, is the body language of Ibra Sijemba, the current hot form in Uganda. Apparently, he's been sitting all through this race. He's having a big money match against the South African diehard. And he's been watching closely, monitoring the proceedings just next to the scoreboard. Across the scoreboard, you'll see Ibra Sijemba, the killer, is looking concerned. I think tomorrow he wants to get back the Ugandan pride, because Ugandans and South Africans, the rivalry is unmatched in African pool. They always believe one is more superior than the other. Apparently the ladies, the Ugandan ladies appears to be better than the South African ladies, but the South African men seems to be doing the same. Will be the loser and one will win against Ishmael. I'm just sampling a few of the comments. SF Finest 000 says, no excuse, Peter, no fatigue them. Pool billiards, CK. Ibra can't beat Ishmael with a slow game. Wycliffe says, Kasusi down 3-5 from TZ. Ashakaka, he is going to win. Wow, no excuse, Dog City. Wow, these guys the comments are coming very strong, very big, very decisive. Oh, so far so good. I think Dog City means some business here. He has to make sure because he's trailing against a formidable experienced player. He has to do his thing now. If not now, it is exactly now and immediately. Because if Ishmael goes to 17 against 10, trust me, it will be unassailable for him. It will be unassailable. But Ibra, the guy in the hat just across there, next to the scoreboard, is watching very keenly because he's the big Ugandan representative this week in Kenya. Remember, they are here for some time in Kenya. This week and next week they'll be in Kenya. We'll be having so many races at around 2 or 3, 4 venues in Kenya. Most likely Nairobi City. We'll be having races here. Tomorrow we'll be having the Dog City match. Sorry, the Ishmael match against Ibra. Just this place, the big match. And then on Saturday or probably on Sunday, they will be moving. They'll be moving from China for very many races as well. Very many races. These guys are very busy for the next 10, 15 days. They'll be very busy. How about that? That's nice attempt. That's very nice attempt from Dog City. Very nice attempt indeed. Ishmael back to the drawing board. He must not be complacent because Dog City is the type of player who can. Oh, what a recovery from Ishmael. That's a nice recovery. We are at Jamlock Sports. We are just a slight argument from the players. I think they've agreed with each other. They've agreed with each other. I suspect that was a mind game. That was a mind game. It's an experienced player. It was a mind game because it's now advantage Ishmael. I wish he never listened to Ishmael. Sometimes I think some of these big money managers should have a counter referee or something, or maybe a peripheral referee, because sometimes a player of Ishmael's caliber, knowing his disadvantage in a frame, he can pull a move and apparently it will be disadvantaging the opponent, because Dog City is a less experienced player than they had the South African. So, in my opinion, going forward, I think there should be some considerations of that. It actually disrupts the game because Dog City had a plan, and apparently Ishmael disrupted it by the stoppage. Ishmael on the yellow balls. Ishmael 16, Rashid 10, Uganda 10, South Africa 16. What a risk, ladies and gentlemen. That was one of the riskiest shots I've seen tonight. Very risky indeed, but apparently he has pulled it up. So it's up to him to finish. It's up to him to finish. Oh, fantastic drawback. What a drawback. Very nice, very risky, but he'll go with it. I think now this one looking palatable for the South African Ishmael. It's looking palatable. Oh, that's a confident player on the table. That is a confident player on the table. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, that is a confident player on the table. He needs to take his time because he needs this frame. He needs frame to destabilize the opponent. Oh, and I said it, he needed this frame. He needed frame. But he looked tired. He's been queuing very well. He's been queuing very well, but I think also he's a human being. The body is giving in. This is the 26th frame. I think the body is giving in. Rashid will pull this one. I can even bet anything. I can bet anything. I can bet one of my body opponents. Rashid will finish this one. This one, Rashid will finish. That was a gift. That was a gift. He needed it. I can see when there is breathing. He's taking a breath. So I think he needed this frame. Could this be the turning point for Dog City? Remember, Dog City has the capacity, has the competency, has the ability to run with this. He has the ability to counter this. Imagine one Ugandan who can do it is Dog City. He can do it. He just need to believe in himself. But he has to be aware he's playing against a very experienced South African player. Almost 2 or 3, I think 3 times African champion, senior champion. Has also been 2 or 3 times African youth champion. He's played so many times, so many matches. He's played in Zambia, he played in Zimbabwe, he played in South Africa, he's played in Morocco. So this is played in Egypt. This Ishmael is an extremely experienced and traveled African pool player up against a slightly less experienced Ugandan Dog City. So Dog City has to take his chances as much as he can. Monsegnu GK is trying to advise Peter Chombe, a fellow Ugandan, to advise Dog City to slow down. Oh no, I think that could be a suicide. The touch game is Ishmael's favorite. At the same time, he has mastered it. He has a lot of experience. So I think Dog City just plays game and go for the game. Dog City is capable. He just needs to avoid carelessness, and he needs to just be comfortable on the strokes. Trust me, he can do it. Dog City can do it. But trying touch against Ishmael, oh, that will be a defeatist move. Trust me. I've played this game. I've played this guy for some time. I tried to slow him down. That is when it's most dangerous, this diehard guy from South Africa. So, in my opinion, Dog City should just go for the game. I think Ibra has left his seat and gone behind us here. I think, or I hope he's not. It's about to be a marvelous shot for Doc. That was carelessness. Best pool of recent, very good, very true. Kusevi Ishmael to win. Wow. Yes, VP will be playing Ishmael, probably called Ibra, currently one of the top players from Uganda, shooting very, very well. He's been the list. If they're cornered, one of their senior, remember Dog City is a very senior Ugandan player. He's been cornered hard. So the dog in the city, and at the same time, there's a heart in the dog. So let's wait and see how the heart in the dog played the city in the dog. Fantastic. 6, 8 lanes, for the side, for the side. Fantastic drive from Nairobi City. Remember.
After the online frame,
Yeah, what happened?
we started the YouTube video.
What happened?